All right, now we've talked about arrays. Let's go over to your lab. Lab 04. Events Lab 04. All right. We're just reviewing arrays. There are many similarities with C++. They're going to behave very similarly. Let's see. Java arrays are objects. C++, they're literally a sequence of elements. So the key difference is in Java, you could ask what the length of an array was. In C++, there are ways to do it, but just assume you can't.
Sadness.
Yeah, it's sadness. So that's why with most arrays, if you're doing straight up arrays, you also have to pass the size of the array so people know where to end. There's other things you can do instead, but that's what we're going to do here. Now, let's see, doesn't have to store any information about the array, like length. Right. Note. So this is the first one where the auto grader might start helping you out. And we'll see if we can get it up and running.
Wait, auto grader actually helping us? I thought it was supposed to kill us this semester.
It'll help you by telling you you're wrong. It'll help you by saying you're either right or wrong, okay? That's all it does. I'm not promising anything else. So make sure, in order to hook up with the autograder, we'll start testing and see if it's working. Your header file should be src arrays.hpp, and your C++ code for the arrays should be in source arrays.cpp. I do not need a main file. Do not put main inside of arrays.cpp. The autograder will fail.
Do not put what?
Main inside of arrays.cpp. Make a separate main if you want to test with main. Or you can test with CXXTestGen, which we'll go over right after this lab. Right? Yes?
Speaking of the auto grader, we haven't done the webhook thing yet, have we?
That's a good question. Have we done the webhook? No? Okay. I'll have to tell you about the webhook.
Yeah, that might be slightly helpful.
Nah, I don't think I've actually set up the webhook, so I need to set that up too. All right. Well, I need to write that down somewhere. Okay. So for this program, your first function that you want to write, notice that in C++ you do not have to have a function inside of a class. Count negatives returns the number of elements in the array that are less than 0. Any questions about that? The number of elements in the array that are less than 0.
So it would have to have like a count variable?
Sure. Let's go over here. Let's see. What have I given you? Nothing? Wow, I'm just mean, aren't I? C15 spring. Oh, and the makefile due date's passed, so I'm going to show you the new makefile because that's another nice jump. Hey, went back to the old thing. What? The font. All right, we're just going to bump up the font. Well, that's nice and big. All right. So here's a new makefile you'll have never seen before.
Okay.
Let me move this out. There we go. So this line is setting a main variable, which points to main. Sources is actually going to grab all your sources inside of src that are not main. That's what that command does. Grabs all your CPP files that are in src that are not main. So I now have a list of all your CPP files. C flags, that should be standard. Phony is just telling make, you don't need to implicitly run these, they need to be explicitly run. So all G++, arrays.test, C flags, your sources, and then main as well. And then run all will run test after you've generated the code. %test means % means anything in front, so you can think of this almost as star. So something test, afterwards is going to run this CXXTestGen code in order to actually test your code and then clean afterwards. All right. So there's a couple of new things happening here.
Testing code.
Yeah, we've got test code. First off, I'm running a makefile function to get all your CPP files inside of src, which is nice. And then I'm using that flag here to compile them all. Down here I'm using an implicit rule because you could put anything in front of test and this rule would try to run. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. If you look inside of test, you'll notice you actually have empty test.cpp. I haven't made my source directory, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then let's go ahead and make, let's gvim this, source arrays.hpp, header C++ file. What's the first thing you do inside of a header file?
Hashtag include IOS.
Yeah, if define. We'll just call it arrays_hpp. Go ahead and define it, and then end if. And we do this in case you include arrays more than once. So which function do we want? Let's do int count negatives. All right, that sounds great. Int count negatives over here. Paste it in there. There's our HPP file. Okay, great. Let's go and create our arrays.cpp file. We'll have it return 0. Might be correct, might not. I'll let you think about that. Okay. Huh? All right.
I swear if the answer to the slide was return 0.
All right. Inside of test, I've already given you an empty test. I highly recommend you make this your test template because I tried to find the simplest testing tool there was. Now let me step back and say JUnit inside of Java is really nice. I've yet to find a C++ unit testing framework that is as nice as JUnit. I have searched for a while, and I think this is the simplest way to go about it. So here's just a framework or a template. Let's get out of here. So I highly recommend you do empty test. We'll copy empty test over to another type of test. We'll do it cn for count negative test.cpp. And then we'll go source cn test.cpp. Oops, I'm sorry. Test cn test.cpp. And let me make sure it's a separate window for you guys. All right. Let me go ahead and increase the font. I'm going to go up to 12 this time. Is that still big enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit bigger.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to first include arrays.hpp because that's the function we're testing. And what was the function called? Count negatives. All right. Count negatives. We've got to pass in something. Well, we need to create an array first. So int iArray equals, we'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and make that a pointer. Count negatives of the iArray, comma, the size, which is 1, 2, 3, yep, 6, you got it. What do you think this should be? And I completely forgot the syntax for this. Let's go. Yes. There's just one assert you need to know.
Stack Overflow.
TS assert, thank you. TS assert count negatives equals to 0. So we're going to assert that the count negatives array of 6 is equal to 0. Now let's change this from empty test to no negatives test. All right, create the integer array. We pass that into count negatives, saying the size is 6, and we're saying it needs to be equal to 0. All right, let's see what happens. Make cn-test. Make file no target for cn-test. No test defined. Test cn test arrays. Test run. Oh, this makefile is incorrect. Let's fix this makefile real quick.
Can't see that red at all.
That's fine. I'm just fixing it. Wow, I'm failing here. No test defined. It's right there. Cn test source arrays. No test defined. I broke it. All right, here we go. Error printer O test. It's right there. should not be an issue. Wow. Well. Oh, it has to start with test. That's why. Test, no negatives. I was blanking out. There we go. Okay. Whew. So, array requires one element in initializer. Oh, that's because we're using a pointer. Let's go ahead and make it on the stack. There we go. Error, IRA was not declared in the scope. Yeah, it was. Oh. And lastly, we're going to get these all the time. Count negatives. All right, let's see what the problem is. Count negatives. Count. Oh, it has to be const. Really? C++. Error, count negatives. Oh, count negatives was not declared in the scope. Include arrays.hpp. Was. Did I misspell it? Do y'all see a difference?
No.
Nope, neither do I.
Oh.
What?
Go back. No. Go back.
Nope, I don't see it either. If,
Maybe I have to do. Can't do.
oh, if not defined.
Ah.
Aha! Ooh, that was
Well,
close.
It only happens if it's defined.
Right, so if not defined in your header file, that was fun. Now we assert that count negatives of 6 is equal to 0. Great. All right, well now we can copy, paste this function, test. We'll say 1 negative. We'll put in -2. We'll run it. And then it says, oh, it's okay. Why are you okay with that? Oh, yeah, right 1. Right, we want to be equal to 1. Now we run it, and then it says recipe failed. Count negatives, array of 6 should be equal to 1. But instead, does it tell you what you got? Should say you got 0. Oh, it just
Yeah,
says-
because you return 0.
Okay. Any questions with the TestGen? It's a little weird at first. Once you get used to it, it's a lot faster than trying to write all your test cases manually, because you can just copy and paste a bunch of functions inside of a class. But with CXXTestGen, your functions have to be inside of a class, and they have to start with the word test. Any questions? Comments? Springs of August. No? All right. Oh, good. All right, find min odd. Find the smallest odd value in the array. Return -1 if there is no odd value in the array. Is not odd value? If there is no odd value in the array. Find the smallest odd value in the array. Okay. Let's go ahead and do another practice with the TestGen. I'll copy this, move it over, paste it right, whoops, paste it right here. Tab new, sources, arrays.cpp. And we'll again have it return 0. Hey, 0 is not odd, so we'll make it 1.
Yeah.
Then we'll go back here, cp, test, empty.test to test, and we'll call it min odd test.cpp. Great. No such file or directory. That's because it's one word. Tab new, test, min, there we go. It's empty. All right, test first, for lack of a better term. Whoops. There we go. There, we'll just copy some code in there. And we're doing, which function was it again? Min, find min odd. So what's the minimal odd function of that array?
1.
1. I think we're going to pass that exam, that one. So we'll go and do test 2. What's that one should be?
3.
3. Make odd min test.
when we start doing our projects and are testing our code, do we have more than one test file?
Oh yeah, I have more than one test file right now. Wait, what just happened here? Why does it say there's no tests? I broke it again? Hold on. Recipe, it's going to say the same thing. Source arrays.cp test. Oddmin test. Did I not write it? Wow, what am I doing wrong? Man, this is definitely failing me today. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm not including it. There we go. Why would that error that? That guy. Oddmin test.cpp. Test odd. Did I misspell it? Oh, I called it min odd. Haha. Min odd test. Haha, I typed the wrong thing in.
It still failed.
Right. Well, it failed. It got the first one. It failed the second one.
It's only outputting the one.
Yep. All right. Well, that didn't turn out well. All right. Search. Return the index. So you're returning the index in the array where value is found. Return -1. The value is not present in the array. Huh. All right. Let's see if I can do it third time correctly the first time. Correctly the first time. Yes, I said that correctly.
Are you sure?
No. So we're going to pass test. We'll do min odd this time so I have something to start with. Call it the search test.cpp. Test search test.cpp. It's the same thing. But this time, wow, that was bad. We want to actually have this guy in here. And inside of the arrays.cpp search, we'll say it's at index 0. Probably should return that. And now we're going to do the search test. Did I just call it search? I did, good. Alright, so value of 1's at 1. Actually, size, value 1. Size is still 6, but we're looking for the value of 3, and that should be at 0, 1, 2, 3. At 3. Y'all see that? Where is 1 located? 0, 1, so we need index 1 returned right there. Over here, we're passing in 3. Where's 3 located? You got 0, 1, 2, 3. So we need 3.
Okay.
All right. Make search test. Aha. 0%. Failed both of them. Probably because we're returning 0. Perfect. Haha, I got it right the first time.
Wait.
Got the test case written correctly the first time.
How do you know if you're not actually testing?
That's a good question. I guess you're going to have to trust me. Ooh, ooh, and then figure it out yourself when it breaks. All right. Here's the last one.
We tried.
Removes an item at position index by shifting later elements left. Returns true if and only if 0 is less than equal to index less than equal to size. What does that mean?
Well,
So that means that it can only occur
Let's go to the board.
if it is actually a valid location, a valid spot in the array.
True. So let's go ahead and do an example. Wow, this is a lot. This is very different with the lights off.
yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Can y'all see that? Oh, it looks actually perfect up there.
It's actually better lighting because it's natural.
Yeah. Huh, it's awesome. All right. So we have remove. I'm going to make sure the function heading is correct. I know what I would implicitly have it, but let's make sure. So we have int array. You have array, comma, size. Why am I writing it there?
Shouldn't it be an int array?
Yep. and then index.
Yep.
And
I guess it's back 3 on then. You're writing up.
yeah, fine. We'll do it this way. Okay. Remove the array, the size of the array, the index to remove from. So, if we were going to remove, and we'll say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The size of this is 6, and we want to remove at index 3. That would make the new array, the array will be changed because it's being passed as a pointer, so the values will be changed when it's returned. So that's index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3 is going to be removed by shifting everything to the right of it left, so that would be a 5, then the 6, and then the 6 again because there's nothing to the right of the 6.
Oh.
And then you're going to return true.
So you're shifting it and then you're adding in another 6?
You shift everything to the right of it over, but since there's only a 5 and a 6, you shift it over, so you get 4, 5, or you get, 5, 6. You don't overwrite that 6 with anything, so it stays a 6. So what happens is this gets shifted over there, this gets shifted over there. There's nothing over here, so you don't shift it over. So that 6 remains.
So it like remakes it?
You are changing the contents of the array.
So you're not actually like decreasing the size of the array, you're only
Yeah,
changing.
you're not actually removing anything.
No.
You're just moving.
You're moving everything. That's correct.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
So you're shifting.
It's really shifting everything over. You could call it shift, but it's thought of as removing because afterwards, if you say the size of the array is now 5, you're only, if you said the size of the array is 5, you're only looking at these elements anyways, so it's like removing. And you didn't have to allocate a new piece of memory and return it or something. You just changed the one that you passed in. And of course, it should return true because that was a legitimate position to remove. Any questions
So
on
we are decreasing the size of the array then, by 1.
Technically?
Semantically, yes. Technically, no. Syntactically, no. Yeah. Because in memory, it still has those 6 elements, but we're thinking of it as decreasing the size by 1.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, I guess that makes sense.
Any other questions about this one? Getting a couple of some good questions. No? All right. I think that's it. Testing. Please write some test cases. I'm not going to test your test cases. Huh?
Copy pasta?
Copy pasta. But if you don't have test cases and your code fails,
It's on you.
yeah, it's on you. If you come to me for help, I will ask what your test cases are. If you don't have any, I'll tell you to write some test cases. Because in reality, the way I help you with this class is I help you come up with good test cases.
What you looking at me?
Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Not a problem. But that goes for all of y'all. If you need help, make sure you've written some test cases, and I may be able to help you. If you can't figure out why your code's failing in a certain test case, I may be able to help you with that as well. But I'm not going to look at your code. Yes.
Are you able to,
Well, go ahead.
since class is over, are you able to look at my GitHub now?
It's not over yet.
No, we're not over.
Oh, we're not over. Oh, not yet. All right, turn it in via GitHub. It's due a week from today. And again, no teamwork. Any questions on the lab?
No.
All right, this is your first realistic lab, so to speak. Well, we're starting to get into it. So that's all for lab 1.